Good afternoon, LifePoint family. Hope you guys are doing well. John and I are back for our Thursday hangout, just to spend some time talking. Again, not that you want to see us, but we love hanging out, just answering some questions, covering different topics. And so today we're going to do the same thing, talk about a few things. We sent out a question earlier on our social media sites, and so if you haven't had a chance to go look at those, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you can do that. There's a question we posted that we'll discuss a little bit today in a few minutes, but excited to have some of you guys on with us already. Hey, David, what's up, man? Glad you answered our question earlier. It's a great answer, too, and we'll get into that in a few minutes. Hey, Miss Chelsea, I saw your husband yesterday. Hope you guys are doing well. Yes, we miss you guys, miss our church family, too. So that's one of the things we want to talk about is missing that family and that time together. We know that we're still in shelter in place, and that is lasting at least till April 30th. It could go longer. We don't know until the governor says anything different. Obviously, we abide by what our local government is asking, state and local government's asking of us. So we have come up with a way to try to see each other a little bit. I know a lot of you are meeting online in community groups and student ministry, other types of ministry as well, and you're doing it for work and for school and all these avenues and venues. But we're doing it called Online Community on Sunday mornings at 9:20, 40 minutes before our 10 o'clock service, and then for about 30, 40 minutes immediately following that as well. You want to talk a little bit about our community there?
Yeah, so it's headed up by our guest services director, Dave Hamilton, and Dave has set up a Zoom call. It's a lobby that is a general lobby that people can come in and just hang out and see people. And there's some breakout rooms that you can go to if needed, but we're going to keep everybody in the general lobby as often as we can, as much as we can, until it becomes crowded and overcrowded, if you will. And so it's just a way to be able to see people and interact with people. And, I think we talked about it a little bit at staff meeting last night, that people are burnt out a little on Zoom right now. Like, people are tired of doing Zoom calls. You're tired of seeing everybody through an electronic medium, I guess, right now. So, we understand that you may be burnt out on a little bit, but what a great way to be able to interact some during this time of shelter in place, and just a little bit of opportunity for us to be able to see one another face to face, and we don't have to do it just through text or, over Facebook or whatever. So, I know that we're somewhat burnt out. We hate the fact that we have to meet in Zoom calls for a staff meeting. But it does give us an opportunity to be able to do that. So it's a great opportunity. I hope that we see several people jump on this Sunday to be able to interact. And Gabe and I are going to try to jump in occasionally and hook up and talk with some people. And so we hope that you take the opportunity to do that. It's a really cool opportunity.
We're not going to hook up, but we're going to talk to some people.
I'm definitely not hooking up with you.
So you can find our online community if you want to go to our website, lp.church.org, lp.church.org, and just scroll down part of the way through that page. And when you get there, you'll see a couple of buttons. One lets you see our digital ministry, which is our online content. Another will let you watch the service live. And then the one on the right-hand side you see on screen is called Online Community. So anywhere between 9:20 and 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, you can jump in at any point. If you think, I missed it, it's 9:25, it's a come and go. If you want to come stay 5 minutes, say hey to some people, and then leave, you're welcome to do that as well. So Sunday morning, set your alarm or a note or reminder. We'll send out a notification through our app as well. But starting at 9:20, from then all the way up until a few minutes before our 10 o'clock worship gathering start, you can jump on, see people, talk to people, and again, jump in and out. Bring your coffee with you if you drink it. If not, like me, bring your hot chocolate for you non-coffee drinkers. But again, it's just a way to see some people that you haven't seen in a while, and just to say, hey, there's nothing big about it. Nobody's going to embarrass you or ask you hard questions. It's just, hey, hello, how you doing?
Yeah, and it's just like I said, an opportunity to hang out for a few minutes. We jumped on the last 2 weeks and interacted with some people, and it's just a fun time. It really is. And like I said, you get to see people in their natural habitats.
Yeah, that's right.
Hanging out in their living rooms for the most part. A lot of them, if you're Johnny Turner, you're laying in the bed and
there you go,
looking all shuffled. But anyways, it's a good opportunity for us to be able to get together. And so, if you guys are able to, for certain, go to our website. look on the home page and the buttons that Gabe referenced earlier. And if you haven't downloaded the Zoom app on your PC or whatever way that you would be accessing it, you'll need to do that ahead of time, or it's going to take you to that download screen when you click on the button. Yeah,
Zoom is the medium or method we're using there. So Another thing about community too that we have tried to do as leadership and staff, we're trying to reach out to everyone and say, hey, see how you're doing. If you have not gotten a call or text or email, we hate to ask you to reach out to us, but we want to minister to you and talk to you. So if you want to shoot us an email, info@lp.church.org, we'll get that, and we'll send that to the appropriate person or people to help you in whatever need or concern or prayer request you have, or if you just needed a few minutes to talk to somebody. We've had some great conversation as staff with many of you over the past 10 days or so. We've been trying to literally call everyone just to say hey and see how we can pray for you. So it's brought up some good conversations, and I've really enjoyed being able to reach out that way.
Yeah, it's a really awesome opportunity. We talked to some people that are certainly glad that we called, and reached out to some that may not have been as glad, but we certainly have enjoyed getting to talk with some people and just reconnect a little bit and ask people how they're doing. And, this is such a crazy time right now. We really, we crave, I think, just that interaction and be it through a phone call or through Zoom or just like this right now where you guys are watching a couple of bozos sitting up here spouting off at the mouth for a few minutes. It's that interaction that we desire. And so we hope to, like Gabe said, if we haven't reached out to you yet, if you haven't heard from anyone, certainly be on the lookout for that. We should have someone reaching out to you momentarily. So hope you're able to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Are we still live? Look like we stopped for just a second. Hey, Miss Cindy, how are you? We miss you. Hope you guys are doing well down in Florida.
Yep.
I hope y'all are seeing the grandbabies and enjoying them and taking the RV around camping and all those things. But we really miss you and Bruce and just seeing you guys in the ministry you had here. So hope that's going well with you guys in Florida. All right, so a question that we wanted to ask and discuss today is, we referenced it last week, is what does it look like when we do get to come back? We're not saying that's happening this Sunday. It's not, because shelter in place is still in order. So again, we want to abide by the local and state and federal laws and lawmakers and do what we can to abide by that. I think that's appropriate and right at this point especially. And so we're doing that, but we're also making those plans of what it will look like when we can come back. We don't know if Governor Ivey will end the shelter in place at the end of April, and May is open a little bit. We've heard some things, seen some things online that there are phases that will be rolling out, and it's a possibility that churches could start meeting again 1st of May. And so we've talked back and forth of, do we open right away? Do we not open right away? And we've literally had 20 different ideas of, well, let's do this the first week, let's do this the second week. And we just as a staff have been praying through, talking through what that looks like so that we can gather, but also still minister to us as we're scattered, and also keep the social distancing in place as well. And so we've created a couple of questions that we're going to send out in an email and on social media, and we really do. We know you don't want to fill out forms, but it's really a couple of questions. It'll take you less than 5 minutes, 3 minutes.
For sure. Yeah.
So we really would like for you to answer these for us, so that we can kind of gauge what you're feeling, what you're thinking, so that we can structure those first couple of weeks and maybe even first couple of months appropriately.
Yeah, and there's a lot that goes into this. It's not just a matter of reopening the doors. Yeah. There's a lot of preparation. We've spent a majority of the day today talking through that and just trying to discuss what does that look like, not only for the General Assembly, but also for our kids, our students. We want to be, very, very cautious in how we open things up to maintain people's safety and their ability to be able to be safe, even if they want to return. And so, anyways, we sent out this survey, and like Gabe said, it went out about 15 minutes ago by way of email. And so you should have received that if you're on the church email list. And by the way, I'll give a shameless plug for our church email. If you're not on the email list right now, please send us a message at info@lp.church.org, and we'll get you added to the list. But certainly if you receive that email, take time to fill out that survey and get that back to us. I think, for us, it helps us to make decisions that we need to in order to open up in an appropriate way. And
Right.
and really that's what we want to do. That's our desire, our heart's desire, is to make sure that, you guys are safe, and the ability to open up in a way that maintains that safety is important to us. And so we want to make sure that we're doing that.
Yeah, for sure. So here's the number one question on that survey, and the one we put on social media. So as I read this, if you would just comment on Facebook if you're live with us so we can kind of have some discussion. The question that we asked today is when our local government lifts its ban, and so that's really important. It's not us going ahead of, but when they lift the ban or their guidance for churches about meetings, which one best describes you? So here's a couple of options. As soon as the ban is lifted and we can gather back together, you have a couple of options. First one is you're going to come as soon as the doors are open. You're the extrovert that's been literally dying at home, and you're coming day one. The second one is John all day long. The second one is you'll come, but with some concerns and precautions. The third option is it'll be several weeks before you decide to attend in person. The fourth option is it's going to be quite a while before you return. So the first one is you're coming day one. Second one is you're coming day one, but you're going to be very leery and cautious. Third option is it's going to be a few weeks. And then the fourth option is it may be a while, maybe summer, maybe fall before you come back. So if you have a chance, just throw on Facebook what you think your family would do. We're not saying, again, that happens tomorrow because we literally can't. But when we do, what best describes you? I know Tutwiler David said earlier, if it were today, he would have some, caution of coming back right away. That if it were May, then, he'd be more open and willing. And I think that's what we're looking at is May. We originally thought it might be June, but it sounds like really kind of based on the economy, it might be opened up, soft open, starting May 1st for the general public.
Yeah, and, it goes back to what we talked about just a few minutes ago. Based on the results of the survey, it's going to help us gauge what that's going to look like for us. We've already started talking about, how to maintain proper social distancing once we open it back up. We're going to have, certainly going to be clearing out the worship center, taking out, I've estimated so far between 65 and 70 chairs just out of the lower bowl, and then taking out seats in the balcony as well. And so we certainly want to make those things safe, but we also, want you guys to understand that it may look different when we open it back up. And again, all this is predicated on, the results of that survey and really what we prayed about and have, feel directed to do.
Right.
But, we may not have guest services people that are standing out there shaking your hand. Obviously, we don't want that, but they may have masks on. They may have gloves on. We may not have the cafe open.
Right.
We may not offer child care services or students for the first couple of months.
Yeah.
We just don't know at this point. And so what we are extremely confident in is that, again, we want to maintain your ability to be safe.
Yes.
And we don't want to force anybody to do anything. And we will continue our digital ministry as we have to date.
Yes.
This stuff is not going to end. So most likely you're going to get to see me and Gabe in this setting for quite some time. Okay.
Right.
And so we just want, like Gabe said, we want to know your input on these things because it's going to help us make those decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ashley Clark said Micah is a 1 and she is a 2. So Micah's coming busting the doors down and then she's going to come with some precaution. And that's okay. That's good to know. We don't want, as we said, anyone to feel like they're missing out for not showing up day one. And we don't want to feel anyone to feel forced to come back. So as far as serving in a volunteer role, so that's why there's the first couple of weeks, there won't be kids ministry. There won't be student ministry, a midweek ministry. Those things won't happen because we're going to basically go in reverse of how we went into this.
Yeah.
And so worship gatherings will open first, and then we'll start to open those others as we feel comfortable doing so based on government, CDC, how the virus is spreading, being contained, vaccines, all of those types of things. So we can't say anything definite, but we are making plans so that when that happens, you can feel safe. And so going back to what John said, we are taking seats out so that you can sit as a family, but stay social distance from other families and encouraging to stay the 6 feet apart. Guest services, they're going to say hi, but they're not opening the door, shaking hands.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to wipe down the building. We clean the building thoroughly every week, twice a week. We'll continue to do that. Make sure it's clean and safe for you. And we're also talking about the possibility of making one service for families and one service not, so that you keep kids separate from other adults who may not want to have dirty, grungy hands near them, but also let families come and worship as well.
A lot of things on the table right now. Again, we'll go back to, some things that have been said already, but a lot of things on the table we're not sure about yet. But, if you look at even things such as ingress and egress, we even talked last night about one way in, one way out.
Right.
And, that's not easy for us to do here, but it is something that we feel like we can facilitate and accommodate. And so it's something we want to do. And Tud, again, came through and said, it's really going to depend on the environment and what Gabe just mentioned just a moment ago about where we're at with the virus. And just because they open things back up, if they do it for economic reasons, which is highly likely, that doesn't give him a lot of peace of mind. And again, we want you to do what's comfortable for you and your family. And nothing is set in stone right now. Stephen Keenum said, "I'll be there Sunday."
I don't know if that's Stephen or Cherie.
Or Cherie, it may be. It could be both. They're both one. So
that's right.
But anyways, we don't want you to feel, we don't want you to feel pressed or
like you're missing out.
Yeah, in any way, because we can still provide that same content and, maybe not the environment, maybe not the culture, if you will, through way of video or you watching it through one of our mediums, but we can give you the same content and that may suffice for a while. And so, we want you to do what you're comfortable with. We don't want you to feel pressured to come back. Even if we did open the doors 1st of May, we want you to do what's right for you and your family at that point.
Yeah, and like we said, there's no substitute for in person. That community happens best in person. Mm-hmm. But we also heard somebody say very wisely the other day, digital ministry, online church, whatever you want to call it, it's here to stay.
Yeah.
It was already.
Absolutely.
But a lot of us, our churches, had our head in the sand and said, we'll get to that later. But that allows a greater reach, allows people to watch and go through a service or teaching or discipleship on their own time.
Yeah.
And so we're good with following that.
Right.
So we've tried to make plans and preparations during this time away. Our staff has worked harder than normal, and so I give them all the kudos and praise in the world. They've gone above and beyond, amazing job. And so we've done that as well to try to make our digital ministry, online community, online church ministry as effective as it can be. And so we've worked hard to try to do that. You've seen some missteps along the way. John looked like he's got a grill last Sunday and he's going to bust out a new rap album. But those are just small steps of trying to improve and get better. It did look awesome.
Yeah. So you're right. And there are some, and we've even talked about, expanding.
Yes.
What we're doing now, expanding it to maybe a midweek, little prayer time or whatever. We've talked about a few ideas like that would help us to expand. And I've challenged our staff to, to think outside the box, be innovative, and come up with even more ways than we are right now of doing ministry this way digitally. Right. And so, Gabe's right, man. Our staff has worked tirelessly over the last 4 weeks, and I certainly, and I know Gabe feels the same way, could not be prouder of the job that they've done. We have had people running 1,000,000 miles an hour trying to make this thing happen and to give you content that's good content that you can grow in and grow from. And so I'm really proud of them, and we're going to continue doing this. Yeah,
absolutely. We really enjoy the Bible study, and that may, after we finish Philippians, that may morph a little into a midweek type. We're not sure, but we've seen some ideas, have ideas of our own to be able to provide something for you during the week as well. And so we'd love to hear back from you. I know a lot of you aren't watching live. Several of you are. But if you would post or comment, we've really enjoyed this aspect. Appreciate this. Throw out some ideas to us as well. What's up, Larry Franks? Miss you in the hood. I used to live on Pastor's Row. There were five ministers in our old neighborhood. Larry Franks was one of those, first priority director, who does an amazing job. So, hey, Larry, hope you and your family are doing well. Appreciate what you guys do, trying to reach the kids and students in our community. Very much. So, all right, well, we don't want to keep you forever. Good afternoon, Gina, and we're about to head out. So, Sunday morning, go to our website, scroll down till you see the online community button. Click on that. It'll bring you to our online community there. You can see people, talk to people. Starts at 9:20. You can go all the way up till 9:55, and then it'll start again as soon as the service is over. But quick little plug. We're starting a series this Sunday called This Is My Story. We've seen one of the stories. I am so fired up about this series.
Dude, it is going to be awesome. And so if you have not been tuning in on Sundays to our worship services, this Sunday is going to be the Sunday you want to do that.
Yeah, for the next few weeks.
Yeah, it's a 4-week series. This is my story. You guys want to make sure that you're tuning into that. It's going to be awesome. And so, make sure you're making plans to do that now.
Absolutely. All right, you guys have a great afternoon. We'll see you back again on Sunday.
See you guys.
Bye.